The U.S. and Russia have denounced North Korea's recent mid-range missile launch, calling for an end to the regime's provocations. President Park Geun-hye held a summit with Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta, agreeing to cooperate on Kenyan industrial infrastructure projects. And with the earlier than usual arrival of summer, 3 beaches in Busan have opened, ushering in the season for summertime fun. Hello and welcome to News Today on KBS World. It's Wednesday, June 1st. I'm Luke Clary. North Korea attempted to launch a mid-range missile Tuesday morning, and although the test ended in failure, the U.S. and Russia have denounced North Korea's recent mid-range missile launch, calling for an end to the regime's provocations.
The White House has strongly condemned North Korea's latest mid-range missile launch. It urged the North to stop provocative behaviors which will heighten tensions in the region.
These actions and North Korea's continued pursuit of ballistic missile and nuclear weapons capabilities pose a significant threat to the United States, our allies, and to the stability of the Asia-Pacific region.
Washington warned that Pyongyang would face greater economic pressure if it continues to make provocations. The White House also repeatedly asked the international community to join in efforts to sanction Pyongyang. On its part, Russia issued a statement denouncing North Korea's missile launch. The Russian Foreign Ministry criticized the North for violating the UN Security Council resolutions again, saying that all related countries will sternly deal with the regime. The White House said that it and its allies are working together more closely in the face of North Korea's continued provocations.
President Park Geun-hye is currently on her state visit to Kenya, where she held a bilateral summit with Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta. The two heads of state have agreed to cooperate on Kenyan industrial infrastructure projects. President Park Geun-hye received a warm welcome from her Kenyan counterpart Uhuru Kenyatta upon her visit to the African nation.
Despite coming from a background of great difficulty, you quietly sneaked upon the world and built a very robust economy.
After the bilateral summit, the two heads of state signed 20 MOUs for investment in the construction of Kenya's industrial infrastructure facilities. Korean companies are now in a favorable position to win a $420 million deal for the construction of a regional power plant and to participate in Kenya's nuclear power plant project. The two nations will also promote a Korean pilot industrial complex that will serve as a springboard for Korean companies' advancement into Africa and the U.S. The issue of North Korea's nuclear development was also discussed. President Kenyatta expressed support for Seoul's stance and vowed to faithfully implement the UN Security Council resolution. He also expressed deep concern over Pyongyang's nuclear tests and missile launches and urged the North to stop its provocative acts. At an ensuing business forum, the Kenyan leader urged Korean businesses to invest in the Kenyan market, saying that the people of Kenya drive Korean cars and watch Korean televisions every day. After wrapping up her tour of 3 East African nations, President Park leaves for France on June 1st. South Korean civic groups are seeking to designate Hunmin, the original manuscript of the Korean alphabet Hangul, as the nation's #1 national treasure, submitting a petition to the National Assembly. Attention now turns to whether the issue can be settled in Parliament.
This is the nation's #1 national treasure, Moongate. Criticism has been surfacing that Moongate was designated as the #1 national treasure after Korea's liberation simply because the Japanese Governor-General had designated it as the top treasure in 1933 during Japan's colonial occupation of Korea. There is also an incessant claim that the gate has lost its qualification as the #1 national treasure as its original form was hugely destroyed by a fire in 2008. Hunmin, the original manuscript of the Korean alphabet Hangul, is being cited as the strongest alternative to the gate. Civic groups submitted to the National Assembly a petition seeking to designate Hunmin as the #1 national treasure.
부실과 비리로 얼룩진 국보 1호에서 국민들에게 감동을 주는 국보 1호로서의 변경이 이루어지기를 고대하고 있습니다.
They are asking the National Assembly to settle the some 20-year-long controversy over the change of the number one national treasure.
우리 문화를 당당히 대표할 수 있는 훈민정음 해례본을 국보 1호로 지정하고자 하는 민의에 대해서 국회가 답해야 한다고 생각합니다.
Amid some opposition that the change could rather cause more confusion, the Cultural Heritage Administration held a public hearing on the issue last year as part of its efforts to revamp the system to number cultural and historical assets.
An artificial human heel bone made of metal has been produced for the first time with a 3D printer. In about 2 weeks, the bone will be surgically implanted into a man's foot. The young man in his 20s was in jeopardy of having part of his leg amputated due to cancer before this treatment came about. Here's more.
This gray titanium lump was produced using a 3D printer. When it's exposed to strong wind, an artificial heel bone reveals itself. It looks exactly the same as the heel bones of 23-year-old Park Moon-young, who is soon to undergo a transplantation surgery. This is a computer tomogram of Park's 2 feet. His left heel bone, where cancerous cells were found, has melted and resembles a net with multiple holes. In a worst-case scenario, Park's foot could have required amputation and the use of a prosthesis. But luckily, in just 2 weeks, Park will receive an artificial heel bone transplant produced with a 3D printer.
재건이 쉬울 뿐만 아니라 주변의 근육인대 뼈와 함께 서로 융합이 될 수 있는 재질을 선택할 수 있고
Transplantation surgeries involving artificial bones such as cranial and hip bones created with the help of 3D printers have been performed more than 100 times so far in Korea. 3D printers are writing a new chapter in medical history as they will become even more widely adopted in endeavors such as the development of artificial organs.
With the earlier than usual arrival of summer, 3 beaches in the southern city of Busan have opened, ushering in the season for summertime fun. We take you there now.
This is Haeundae Beach in Busan, the nation's most favored seaside vacation destination. 2 other beaches in Busan, Songjeong and Songdo, are ready to open and serve vacationers. They began operations this Wednesday. Vacationers can have fun at night starting this year since beach operation hours have been extended. Nighttime swimming will be allowed until 9 p.m. in some designated sections for 2 weeks starting from July 11th. Large amusement facilities, which are usually only seen at water parks, will be installed at a corner of the sandy beach. Vacationers will also be able to have a unique, refreshing experience at a cafe where they enjoy the beautiful scenes of the sea while reading a book or having a drink. Competition is fierce to attract more vacationers since the operation of beaches in the summer vacation season greatly helps the local economy. The size of the sandy beach has doubled at Gwangalli Beach as sand delivered by 2,000 25-ton trucks has been newly added. Songdo Beach, which opened on Wednesday, offers the unique fun of taking a walk along a bridge built over the sea. With a floor built with tempered glass, the 365-meter bridge is the nation's longest trail walk over the sea. 7 beaches in Busan will operate until early September.
Year after year, it seems that Korea is attracting more and more tourists from abroad. Nevertheless, last year, Japan attracted more foreign tourists than Korea. We look at the reasons why in our next report.
Most of the customers at this duty-free shop in Seoul are Chinese.
我经常来韩国，然后主要是过来逛街购物。最喜欢去的地方就是东大门、明洞和乐天免税店。
Chinese travelers accounted for 45% of all foreign tourists who visited Korea last year. By contrast, Korea's success at attracting tourists from regions other than China has fallen short of expectations. As a result, some 13 million foreign tourists visited Korea last year, falling behind nearly 20 million foreigners who chose to travel to Japan. In addition to the MERS outbreak in Korea and the low value of the Japanese currency, Japan was more successful at attracting tourists thanks to its diversified strategies that appeal to tourists from many different regions, including Taiwan. Meanwhile, Korea has focused more on low-cost tour packages centered around shopping. The percentage of Chinese tourists who plan to revisit Korea continues to plummet, even though they make up the majority of foreign tourists in Korea. Their per capita spending amount is also on the decline.
쇼핑 위주의 프로그램은 외국 관광객들의 재방문율을 떨어뜨릴 우려가 있습니다. 새로운 전략이 필요하다고 생각됩니다.
Experts call for a shift away from a focus on shopping, instead providing more diverse services targeting foreign tourists, such as cultural activities and beauty services.
When minors perpetrate a misdemeanor or are situated in an environment prone to repeat crime, they're sent to a private protection facility and not a juvenile detention center. This sentencing is called Measure Number 6 in court lingo, and at-risk youths placed under Measure Number 6 were recently treated to a fun visit with a famous football star. Take a look at this special program.
Teenagers staying at a private protection facility under Measure Number 6 flex their ball skills on an open field.
개선 가능성은 있지만 보호자의 보호력이 약하거나 가정 환경이 좋지 않은 경우에 본인 스스로 자율적으로 재범을 막을 수 있는 힘을 길러주는 처분입니다.
Football star Lee Young-pyo, who has long taken interest in issues related to children, has also come out free of charge to encourage the students.
여러분하고 저랑 차이가 뭔지 아세요? 여러분은 들켰고 나는 들키지 않았다는 사실이에요. 근본적으로 얘기하면 모든 사람은 다 죄가 있어요.
Most of the kids are from dysfunctional families and briefly stepped onto the wrong path. Encouraging change through affection is as important as stern punishment.
어려운 주변 환경 내에서 벗어나서 사회복지 시설로 들어와 있는 것만으로도 아이들은 큰 변화가 있고요. 이런 스포츠 운동을 통해서 아이들은 이제 공동체 의식이 기르고
조금 마음을 열고 그다음에 좀 프로그램 같은 거 있으면 열심히 참여하고 개인적으로나 사회적으로나 좀 떳떳할 수 있도록 그렇게 이제 다시 살고 싶습니다.
The court will continue to come up with measures to help delinquent children return to society as sound members following punishment of their crimes.
In the process of making a cup of coffee, you're left with a lot of spent coffee grounds. When it comes to how to make use of the grounds, a few creative solutions have emerged, from recycling them as compost to even furniture.
Black compost is strewn on a field after the year's farming in a bid to restore the fertility of the soil. This fertilizer actually consists of regular compost mixed with coffee grounds, left over from pulling shots of espresso. Some 500 tons of this coffee compost have been distributed to farmers in Gyeonggi-do province since last year, and the response has been positive.
냄새도 감소되고요. 그다음에 커피박에 있는 미네랄들이 성장에 굉장히 도움을 많이 주고 있습니다.
From a sturdy brownish table to clocks and coasters, and even this side table which functions as a smartphone charger. All of these eco-friendly products are made with coffee grounds.
그 테이블 상판재 같은 경우에 2m 기준으로 커피 찌꺼기 약 5,000잔 분량으로 만들어진 거고요. 포르말데이드 같은 경우도 거의 검출되지 않은 친환경 자재입니다.
A mere 0.2% of the beans is extracted when making coffee. The remaining 99.8% are thrown away as grounds. The amount of coffee grounds discarded this way piles up to an annual total of 100,000 tons. They used to be buried or incinerated in the past, but have recently transformed in their versatile uses. Overlooked waste has become an eco-friendly resource thanks to a shift in perspective.
Fashionistas are said to be very discerning even when it comes to their socks. The right socks can greatly improve one's style. Here's more on how to look more stylish by choosing the right socks. This shop in Seoul specializes in socks. It sells all kinds of them. There's more to a pair of socks than just protecting your feet. In fact, a growing number of people wear socks to complement their style. Socks are especially popular because they are affordable and help create diverse looks. We visited a company that designs and sells socks in line with the latest trends. So what is the latest trend in the sock market?
봄을 맞아서 꽃 들어간 이제 플로럴 패턴 양말하고 이제 펄이나 시스루처럼 소재가 독특한 양말, 그리고 이제 색감이 강조된 양말들이 유행하고 있습니다.
Here's how sock patterns are made. First, the designers come up with their idea and visualize it using a computer program. Then the final design is sent to a factory for manufacturing. Socks can also be embroidered. A machine automatically prints any inserted character. This way, socks featuring all kinds of patterns are produced. Your style can differ according to what sock patterns you choose.
스트라이프 양말 같은 경우는 상의나 신발에 맞춰서 매치를 하시면 경쾌한 느낌을 연출하실 수 있고, 솔리드 양말 같은 경우는 한 가지 색으로만 되어 있기 때문에 본인 개성에 맞는 컬러를 고르셔서 연출하시면 단정하게 보이실 수 있습니다.
Here's how to wear socks stylishly. Cuffed jeans coupled with striped socks create a vivacious look. Here's how to choose the right socks to match your cardigan.
여기에 운동화를 착용하면 활동성도 살릴 수 있고, 살짝 발목을 덮는 양말을 신으면 깔끔하면서 사랑스러운 느낌을 줄 수 있습니다.
When wearing sharp pointed shoes, choose short socks rather than long socks to make your legs look slimmer. When wearing rounded toe shoes, choose long socks. This will give you a cute look. With the help of diverse sock designs, you can look stylish from head to toe.
Now we'll take a look at the markets, followed by the world weather. And that's it for this edition of News Today. Thanks so much for being with us. We'll see you again at the same time tomorrow. Goodbye.